Life doesn't always go like that. So in those,
and it's not always simple. Like
No.
the song Magic, for example, is probably about what people might think it's about. It's about saying, this person is really awesome, and it's magic. And of course, certain parts of it have to change because that's life.
yes,
But not everything has to be black and white or clear cut, and that's okay. And it's not a question of you either really love someone or you really hate them, and it's like this. It's more nuanced than that, especially with the modern world's complications and traveling and all the stuff that comes to life, and illness and addiction and all that sort of thing. And
yeah.
so it's just saying, ultimately, there's magic between two people, no matter what anyone else thinks. and I think, and I hope that other people feel that in their own life.
Way, yeah.
Because I do.
That's the beauty of an album like this, is you make it so it's universal for people to be able to relate to in their own way and experience their life vicariously, feel like they're not alone, because these words and these melodies and this chemistry, like you say, of the band, that's what music is great. Whether you're in a club or in a field or dancing with 60,000 people to Calvin Harris, literally you're not alone.
Yeah.
Or you're listening to this record, which is obviously a different mood, but it has to be beneficial to the artist, right? Or there's no point in doing it, or you
absolutely. It's complete. I write music as a diary. I write it to survive and to make sense of everything.
Yeah.
It's a gift that I'm so grateful for, more and more and more. I love it. I love my job. I can't believe I'm in my band, because otherwise I would be on a ferry just playing Elton John songs, which is great. I love Elton John,
and love ferries.
And I love ferries.
Yes.
But for whatever reason, the universe gave me these other people that we have this chemistry that makes the Coldplay thing, and I'm psyched about it, and I love it, and I'm so happy to be able to say that I love it, because for a long time I didn't feel I was able to.
When did so let's talk about the writing process a little bit, because you write so many amazing songs and you have this catalogue of incredible shut up, but it's is there a particular time of day, or is there a particular mood? I know it sounds like a strange question, but I'm fascinated by the process and whether or not there are things that you can look back over your career and go, well, those are constants.
Yeah,
that help
about
me.
11 p.m. In my phone, I'll write titles.
You start with titles first.
Often.
Yeah.
Often. I'll show you that.
Don't lose that.
Well,
Password protected, right?
Thing. That's
Password
like,
protected.
all this stuff.
Wow! Oh my lord! There's just reams and reams. Have you ever thought about actually creating different pages so you don't have to scroll down for 15 minutes?
Look, it's long. That's okay. So, a title, and then I think, I like that title. It fits with what I'm feeling. And then I'll just sort of wait, and then around 11 p.m. I'll see if I get called by whatever thing calls you.
So it is like, that's kind of when it comes knocking.
Yeah. Or sometimes I'll just go and sit and, fish.
Yeah.
See, is there anything there today? And, there's thousands and thousands of voice memos that are just awful.
Just singing. Do you do it, like, do you sit in the back of the cab? Because as you know, I muck around, I play music and I write songs, and
I'm aware.
And I sometimes find that when I'm kind of singing in a cab or whatever, I'm like, do you care? Like, if people are around and you get struck by inspiration, do you just throw it down?
No, I don't mind.
You throw it down?
Because I feel like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be in this situation. I wouldn't have this life.
This is normally in between albums, by the way, when you kind of, you normally grow your hair up, pull your hoodie up at that point, and you're unrecognizable anyway by that point. It's crazy Chris time.
But I was thinking, I was with my daughter yesterday, and I was thinking, God, if it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be with this person.
Amazing, isn't it?
Right now.
Amazing.
So I'm very, very
awesome, respectful
of the thing I got given.
So great. Do you, and feel free not to answer this question, but I'm a dad as well, and I'll tell you straight up, my kids love music, and and it just plays a part. And I think for every kid at a certain age, it's obviously fascinating, but after a certain point whether it takes hold. Has it taken hold with your kids in some respects?
Yeah, very much so. Musical. She this shocked me the other day, because she was singing along to Dark Horse, Katy Perry song. Then the rap came, Juicy J's rap, and she did it verbatim.
She just went in,
word for word. And we were all in the car actually, and I had to ask, who's Jeffrey Dahmer?
Because it was a lyrical reference point.
And I got explained to me
Yeah.
that he was a cannibalistic, and I was like, that was the first time I felt like an old man. I was like,
did you go PMRC all on it? Were you just like, I think we need to put a sticker
well,
on this?
I have to be honest, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. That she's in the back rapping about him, like, you know. What's amazing, Zane? And this is what I feel so excited about musically, is that
Your forthcoming daughter's rap career?
Hey?
Your forthcoming daughter's rap career?
This should be out next May. Is that the boundaries that we all grew up with have just gone.
Yeah, John.
Thank you so much. And it doesn't, and I love it. It's like, even when we were starting out, that it had to be defined, like, you play this kind of music, you play that kind of music. We don't really mix at the Brits.
Yeah.
You know. Whereas now it's just everyone likes everything.
Yeah.
And that's just wonderful.
It has
and you can reference anything.
It has wonderful elements to it. It would be nice to see a few people not mix at the Brits still. They were good times back in the day, weren't there? A little
think so?
A little bit of fisticuffs here and there. It was a competitive time.
Yeah.
You were competitive.
Me?
Your band. Everyone was. Everyone was pushing.
No, we were just post-competitive.
Come on. A little bit competitive. There was a little bit of... Everyone was like, we're going to be the biggest band in the world. That's competitive in itself.
Yes, okay.
To a certain extent.
Fair point.
Yes. And you've become that.
Well, I don't...
Come on, we can say it now, can't we?
No, you can't.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you the truth.
Okay, all right. I'm not saying you're bigger than anyone specifically. I'm saying, you know, I'm willing to sign off on that.
The young... I think One Direction are the biggest band in the world.
We'll have that conversation in a few albums' time.
Well, they're great, man. Their songs are great.
Look, for the record, One Direction, I'm all for it. I think that
you're not allowed to say it because you're the king of cool.
I can so.
I'm allowed to say it because I'm the king of uncool. So I'm the man
somewhere
from
in the
Uncool.
middle, we're beige. And I'm going to say right now, I don't mind telling you that I think One Direction, for what they do, that's the natural disclaimer. natural disclaimer. For what they do, are brilliant. But I just, you know.
I'm saying One Direction are brilliant. And I'm not kidding. I'm saying One Direction are brilliant. And I'm not kidding. You know why?
Why?
Because their songs are really good, and I don't think that any of them are going to go solo.
You're dreaming. They're so going solo.
No, I don't think they will. I think they appreciate their chemistry.
Who's your number one?
From watching their movie.
Because I play this with our kids all the time.
There is no number one.
There is a number one.
No.
Yes, there is.
There isn't.
Yes, there is. His name's Liam. Stand up.
You think he's the number one?
No, I think he's one of my favourites.
Well, that's very vague.
That's very vague.
But Zane,
for what they do.
Wait, Zane. All right, for what they do. I'm saying not for what they do, just as them being themselves.
Cosign. Got it.
I'm saying, from watching their movie, I felt like, okay, that's gonna be okay. They're
One
gonna
Direction.
last.
We love you. Carry on as per.
Yeah.
Can I play one of my favourite songs on the record?
One Direction or Coldplay?
Yours. This is called...
I'm not messing around, buddy.
I'm not messing around.
Look
at me.
I think you're teasing me.
Look at me. Like, I can straight face it. I love it. I do. I like him. I like pop music. Moving on. Oceans.
But I love Kendrick Lamar as well.
Well, come on. Now let's talk about Good Kid, Mad City. Best rap album of the last 10 years.
It was one of the very great albums of the last 10 years.
You just did it for what he does. You just did
Well,
it.
I'm saying, but then you're then slagging off all the other.
Oh, it's gone the other way now. How interesting. I will stand up and stand
for what
by
he
Kendrick.
does. No, that album's incredible.
Unbelievable. You know why? Because it holds your attention all the way through, like it's a movie. Like,
Yeah.
it has that sense of what Dre brought to the table, NWA brought to the table, which was like they gave you a sense of what was going on outside the recording studio,
Yeah.
as well as what was going on in.
Have you heard that girl SZA, who's on the same?
Yeah, on TDE. She's great.
She's incredible.
You know, man. We speak, when we do speak, we often sort of talk about other artists or whatever, and you're right across it. You really are a fan of popular music, aren't you? And
Well, I like music.
I get it, but a lot of artists, for instance, Jake Bugg, who's amazing,
Right.
grew up listening to one artist, and that was it, right? Don McLean, that was his
Right. No
entire
way.
inspiration.
Okay.
And
Is
a
that
lot
American Pie? Don't
yeah, and a lot of the times when you talk to musicians, especially when they're in the throes of making their record, they're not so connected because they need to stay on course.
I also think this comes with age a little bit. I think you have to be very careful when you're coming through who you admit that you like.
I want to talk about Oceans because I love this song, man.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, dude, this song is amazing. And what fascinated me about the production of this song is even though there's electronic pulse to it, it was played live, wasn't it? Will was hitting that on the thing.
Yeah.
Because you can hear you guys falling apart a little bit and coming
Yeah.
back together. So it's electronic music with this really human feel to it.
Right.
Which I love about this.
Well, you're being very sweet. It means a lot.
Oh, this song is beautiful. I just want to listen to it for a second. If that's okay.
Okay.
Wait for your call, love. Call never came. Ready to fall.
I'm just taken back to Parachutes when I hear you sing like that over acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Is that fair enough to say that?
I guess so.
I mean, when you think back,
It's not deliberate.
it's not. It's
revisiting.
just who you are. I mean, but when you think back to an album like Parachutes and what you said at that time, which was probably your most personal record outside of this one, I think, listening to it lyrically.
Yeah.
Are you amazed that you made that record? Can you step aside from that process and listen to it like
Well, I
we
don't
can?
listen to it, so
You don't listen to your own music?
no.
Wow, ever?
Well, because I can't really learn from it.
Oh wow, I get it now. So this is all part of the process of getting better and better. But you can't enjoy your own records. I think
No, I
that's
can
a
now. This is another big change in my life. It's like now I can enjoy it if it comes on in a bar or wherever. I'm like, oh, I like that. Whereas before I would have to leave or ask them to change it or something.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go and back and listen to
Put it on?
and, polish the discs.
I always think that's one of the big sacrifices. You put all this love into your music, and then you give it to us. And we get to the thrill of listening to it, or the heartbreak of listening to it. And most musicians never do.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. But you know, when you make your own tracks, you listen to them millions of times,
You know
and
what?
they're in here all the time.
Can I tell you something that Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age said to me once?
Please.
I said to him, "Do you listen to your own records?" He went, "Fuck yeah." He goes, "We used to listen to Caius records before we went out on stage and played in Caius."
Oh, they're good records.
They're good records. The track listing, we've touched on that, of this, the order of this record, how
Yeah.
it came together. Was it written that way with it in mind, or was it after you finished the body of work? You sat down and realized that it did say what you wanted to say in the time it took to say it and the direction it needed.
I just wanted it to finish on a message of unconditional love,
Wow, and it does.
and how you can have a better life if you can aspire to that. Not that we ever achieve it entirely, but if you try and learn to love everything that happens to you, everything, as being, I feel like I might be sounding a bit too new age, but I also really mean it.
Remember, you don't care anymore.
I don't care, but I don't want to embarrass you. You can qualify this for what he said, but it comes from I guess it's like a well, like I said, these writers like Rumi, Viktor
Yeah,
Frankl,
yeah.
The Buddhist stuff is like everything that happens to you is what's supposed to be happening to you. So just relax. That's kind of what we tried to get to at the end of the record.
How did you feel when you finished that song? I mean, do you feel relieved to have gotten something like that out of your system? A song? Any song. Could have been on any album, but a personal song of that nature.
Well, I think these songs are very much my friends, and they have been for a couple of years as they've been coming. So how I feel very grateful for them, because like I said before, no one really knows where songs come from.
Yeah.
And for all the technique in the world, sometimes you just don't get any good ones.
Yeah.
And I feel like, wow, I got sent some really nice ones recently.